Hola amigos everyone, amigos WRO here. Today we are tier listing WRO motors from the worst to best, F tier being the worst and S tier being the best. Starting with the NXT large motor. This motor is super slow, but its upside being it has one of the most torque in the Lego motors, very versatile, very slow, but super strong. I think this is a solid B tier. Nah, I think it's more a tier. People should use this motor more often. Next, we have the small power function motor. I used this motor once in a line tracing competition, then I never used it again. Although it has amazing speed, the non-existent torque makes it really hard to control. Good motors are defined by a good amount of size, torque, and speed. This motor has amazing speed and size, but the horrible torque makes it unusable for me. If you have different opinions, you can comment down below. Also, the small power function motor needs a special brick to connect it to an EV3 robot. And yes, you can connect a power function motor to an EV3. Right now it's mid-C tier, usable, but there's a way better choice. This next motor I have never used, by my coach had used it, so I am going to shoot in the blind here. From the motor stats you can see in this video's description, this motor has amazing RPM. Amazing Turkey, but I do see one thing that can make this motor bad. As I said before, a good motor is a motor that has good speed, size, and torque. This motor sadly lacks in one quality, which is its size. In robotic competitions, having the robot with the correct size is super important, and if your robot is too big, it may be very difficult to complete missions from my experience. This is an amazing motor for sumo robots, but its size makes it less versatile, so I am going to put it in mid to high B tier. Next we have the classic, a staple of Lego robotics, the OG, the EV3 large motor. This is practically a clone of the NXT large motor, but with slightly different shapes and stats. This is actually the first motor I ever touched. This motor is like the NXT motor with less torque but a slightly higher speed, a solid motor. But there is one motor that is 100 times superior, a solid motor, a solid A tier. The next one is my favorite power function motor, super versatile, super fast, good torque, amazing size for its speed and torque, but sadly not quite the GOAT of motors yet. This is the motor I used to compete in a line tracing competition. I did pretty well, but at that time my line tracing PID skills aren't very good. I may make a video about PID in the future, but for now, very high a tier. Next I have the GOAT itself, the greatest of all time, the EV3 medium motor, absolutely beautiful, amazing speed although not the greatest, amazing size, and very good torque, a classic. Everyone uses this motor, inside WRO and in other Lego competitions. It's very hard to top this motor, easily S tier. Next we have the fake great, the Spike Prime medium motor. In general I don't really like Spike Prime. The motors aren't as good as their predecessors, the controller is clunky, the software is not very good. The only thing it has over EV3 is that you can have 6 motors, or 6 sensors, and Spike Prime is not retired unlike EV3. Alright, back to this motor. It's decent speed, good torque, very small, but it's not going past the OG EV3 large motor, actually let alone the EL extra large power function motor. I am going to put it at very low B tier. The size carries this motor a lot. Last but certainly not least, we have the Spike Prime large motor. This motor I think arguably is better than the large EV3 motor. It is certainly better than EL power function motor, but nowhere near a tier. I think right now this motor goes lower than large EV3 motor, but perhaps in a few years where people start to use more Spike Prime, this will be the new generation of Lego robotics. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like and subscribe. Ranking WRO countries coming soon.